You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk 1150 AM. Now, back to the show with local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell.
Karen, thank you for joining my show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you, Karen is my little and my only sibling little sister's name. So love your name. So excited to have you in the show, and a little bit about Karen. Karen is the mom of 4 amazing young adults, 2 boys and 2 girls. As a single parent, she navigated challenges that ultimately gave her the confidence to believe in herself that she could start a business. Each of her children's unique path inspire her daily. That is so beautiful. To keep mentally and physically strong, Karen can be found running on local trails in a warmer weather. You can find her or shedding the ski slopes in the winter. Karen is surrounded by an amazing posse of loving and supportive family and friends. So again, welcome to the show, and excited to have a conversation with you, Karen.
Thanks so much, Tina. Really happy to be here.
Yeah. So what got you started? And was it a half-baked idea, or share a little bit more about the inspiration behind opening your business?
It really was that I baked a lot because I had 4 kids. I tried not to buy so much processed stuff, but in doing so, I was baking and giving it to neighbors and friends whenever they had events and things like that. And people started asking, hey, could you make those brownies for my daughter's confirmation, etc. And I realized I was doing it more and more. And then people started saying, hey, you ought to make that a business. So it kind of grew from that, and just almost very organically, because my daughters created a logo, created a Facebook page, created an Instagram. Hey, Mom, you got to like this. And next thing you know, my phone was blowing up with orders.
Oh my gosh, how exciting. Yeah, in the mortgage industry for over a quarter century, about over a decade ago, I hired a developing team to build out a mortgage software that is available for mortgage consultants throughout the nation. But same kind of story as giving it away. I had an Excel spreadsheet that I had a team built with massive coding to it. And I was just giving it to everybody. Mortgage consultants would say, how do you do the business that you do? Well, here's a great spreadsheet for presentation. And somebody came to me with a software developer and said, hey, this guy wants to talk with you. He wants to turn your Excel spreadsheet into an actual web-based software. So it's great. Again, we've kind of talked in the panel conversation about coming from a place of contribution. And when you contribute to others, things fall into place for you, and magical things come out of that. So excited to see that your giving sweets to your friends have turned into a business, which obviously connects to something that you're passionate about as well. So Karen, is there a strategic recipe for growth that you've followed?
I have primarily relied on relationship building, referral type relationship marketing. And that's, again, like yourself, in some networking groups. Yeah. And by building those relationships, it has just grown for me exponentially. I don't think my business would be here without that. You develop these relationships, you develop trust, and you ultimately become a go-to for companies and for individuals. And that's been just incredibly satisfying, which also means I take that very seriously, and I honor that. And I have an attention to detail. I would never want to let somebody down. So I take it very seriously, and with an enormous amount of gratitude.
Yeah. And if you're listening to the show, great advice, Karen. A lot of people sell B2B, or a lot of people sell B2C, business to consumer, or you have a business that's B2B, but this is really a shout out to people that sell B2C, which is business to consumer. Really, your primary focus needs to be in your B2B relationships, because those business professionals are the ones that are going to connect you with the consumers. And that's how you can really take your business to the next level, because great people like connecting great people, as we had a conversation around with Stacy around connection. So are there any special ingredients for, I love your questions that you came up and the words that you use, any special ingredients for success that you employ?
I am a firm believer of listening to podcasts and getting information from others. And one of the people I follow has this theory, it's Ed Milet, if anybody listens to him, of always do one more. So when you tell yourself, this week I'm going to make 5 calls every day for prospects, How about if you make 6 every day? And at the end of the week, you start to truly believe you deserve that success because you've worked a little harder, a little more, a little extra. So that would be one of them. Always do one more, whatever it is, bake an hour longer, run the extra mile if it's working out, whatever it is. I also believe you have to be your own cheerleader at times. And that's pretty significant when you're an entrepreneur because it can be pretty lonely. You don't have the time to be hanging out with everybody. So there's times you really have to bolster your own self to get through, whether it's a slow time or not a great financial time, to just believe in yourself. You got this. So those would be two of the biggest.
Yeah, absolutely. In our panel conversation, one of your best books that you shared was The Secret. And, just what Karen is saying here, just one more, when you're doing your visualization, which you should, and your affirmations in the conversation, you don't like the word affirmation, find a word that works for you, because it's critically important to have conversations with yourself strategically, because otherwise you're only left with the unintentional conversations, which are majority percentage of that are not good conversations. But when you're having those conversations and saying that you're going to make, $1 million or $500,000 or whatever your conversation is, or more. So kind of on the same, always add in or more, or one more, as Karen's saying, do that activity and just one more. I love that. And then you're constantly pushing yourself and playing a game with yourself in what you can actually accomplish. Great advice, Karen. So what has been the most challenging part of your journey so far as being a business owner?
Sometimes that's hard to narrow down. So I know I thought about a few things, and it even just changed, I'd say, in the last week. Normally, I would say the financial part about starting from literally nothing, the time, and just having that inner confidence. Those were what I would have defined as the three biggest challenges. But really right now, the truth is, the way the world is, it's the escalating costs of everything, and trying to, it's really tough on a small business. It's really tough. And I talk to all my other friends in other businesses. So again, it's not specific to my industry by any means, but the costs that we're all managing right now in every single aspect. For me, for example, it's not just the ingredients, but it's the boxes, it's the labor, it's the ribbon, it's the labels, everything's gone up. And how do you manage that? I think there's this funny perception, you raise your price on something and they think you've gone and signed the lease for a new Lexus. It doesn't quite work that way.
Well, and I guess the positive side on it right now is everybody, knows that business. I mean, even the dollar store now, it's $1.25. I popped into the dollar store when I do events and stuff and get little, little swags, and I'll go in there. You've got a bunch of people that are coming to an event. I'll go check out the dollar store. But yeah, it was funny, $1.25. I was like, wow, even the dollar store now, they're going to have to change branding in their name. So yeah, and it's got to be kind of a double-edged sword, because the people that are purchasing from you as well, everything is costing more. So a shout out on what Karen has to offer when you're doing those connections. You're making people, you want to make people feel extra special. What you don't want to cut out of your budget is you don't want to cut out that extra, which is the sweet gift that they're getting delivered, because I think that is the most important in your marketing, is what are you sending out that is making people feel that they're special because we have this. So encouraged to really look at that when you're seeing where you can save cost, that it's not there. So Karen, what has been the most fulfilling part of your journey so far as a business owner?
Probably the single most fulfilling would really just be knowing that my kids are proud of me. And I know that probably sounds funny. I don't have a spouse. I don't have a spouse cheerleader, which don't care. I'm not griping about that, but I will say, having my kids tell me, and especially my daughters are probably the more articulate of the children, telling me that I'm really proud of what you're doing, Mom. You're doing such an amazing job. I can't believe this started almost by accident. Look at where you've taken it. Wow. That brings tears to my eyes and literally makes my heart want to, expand out of my chest. So that is just incredible to me.
Well, I've had a husband for 27 years. And when my book came out, and my son was one of the first ones to read it, and, my daughter, and how proud she always, absolutely, when my husband says he's proud of me, it's like, oh, yeah, thanks. But when your kids do, and now we just had our first grandbaby, she's only a year, but I can't wait till she can look up to her Grammy and go, wow, yeah, that's my Grammy. Look what she's done. So I totally get it. It is absolutely fulfilling and can literally bring you to tears when you hear one of your kids say that they're proud.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does an average day look like as the owner of Little Miss Moffitt?
It starts fairly early. I usually am up and on my computer fairly early, and there's a myriad of things because as a small business owner at the moment, while I do have people help me bake, I do have people help me package, I am primarily doing 99.9% of everything else. And that means staying on top of my inventory and ordering ingredients and emailing follow-ups to anybody I've been connecting with, both wholesale potential customers, corporate clients. It's staying on top of, oh my gosh, how many more boxes am I getting low? Do I need to order boxes or ribbon? Then it means baking. We bake after hours because I use a commercial kitchen that has to be done with their production, et cetera, et cetera. So it kind of just keeps going. Usually somewhere in the day, I do try to take time. If it's warm, I go for a run. If it's not, I'm on the treadmill. I do things to try to kind of get off my computer and get out of my head a little bit, which I find pretty healthy. I probably should do more of it. So it's a little bit of everything, but it's really that whole thing that is what I've realized I really love. It's running a business.
Yeah. Well, and there's times in your business and seasons where you're grinding, and there's times that they're not. But yeah, getting up in the morning and really before starting, my day, it's doing my affirmations and my intention and really creating that space and my motivational clips. And right before I go to bed, really doing a refresh of the things that were challenging and the things that were positive so that I can connect those dots and see all of the challenges really led to something positive. And of course, visualization. And then like Karen said, midday, you need to stop and get away from your computer. I have what I call a refresh. And my refresh is exactly, what you're saying, whether it's getting outside, if it's a nice day, or if it's not, getting in my car and blasting my motivational clips. It's just getting away from the office and having my own personal refresh. It's not to release stress. It's to make sure that stress doesn't stick with me. It just comes in and doesn't stick. Mm-hmm. So what do you want people to think of when they think of Little Miss Moffitt?
I want them to think about giving. You think of most cookie companies, you think about their cookies. When you think about this really gourmet basket company, you think about luxury baskets. I want people to think about, who can I send that smile to? Who can I send a hug to disguised as cookies? Because that's what we need more of.
Yeah. Oh, well said. What problems does LMM solve?
Little Miss Moffitt. What we solve is, how do I make sure that the people in my life know that they matter? That's what we solve. And it goes from both personal to professional. So if it's a corporate client and you want them to know, we really value your business, we appreciate you. So that's what we solve. How can we show them? And our packages and a gift note that's included, we brand them with their label if they want. That shows them that. If it's a personal gift, it's that, I don't know what to get somebody, my mother-in-law in another state, you want her to know she matters as you send something special like that.
Yeah, so true. And going that extra really makes a huge difference for people when they see that you care and you're actually mailing them something special, and nothing more special than a sweet. So what is something that you'd like people to know about Little Miss Moffitt that they don't and want to find out?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is, right now, the media, everything that's fed to you is about a crisis. It's the COVID crisis, the gun violence crisis. I think we gotta retrain our minds to think about more positive things more often and disconnect from some of that other stuff. So that's what I want people to know. We are a cookie and brownie and bar company, but that's really not what we are. We're a company to send positivity to more people, and that is exactly what I want them to think of. And that's maybe my website, we want to work on it to make sure we're conveying it, but that's what I want people to know about our brand.
Yeah, beautiful, because there is there's so much hatred and stress going on in the world, and more than ever, people need that little special.
I think that there's this funny saying. It's like, I want people to one up each other in kindness. Somebody did something.
I love that.
Right? Go send them something. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to put a challenge out there with that, Karen. I'd love to be a part of it. So, Karen, last question before I wrap up our show here. What do you see for the future of Little Miss Moffitt?
I would love to be a national brand. I see myself on a lot more shelves. I see myself, I do ship nationwide, but seeing it where people just think of, I've got something, I've got a gift, I've got to go, and I am the go-to of what they want to send. So that would be amazing to me.
Well, visualizing it, I can see you there, and I've tasted your sweets, and they are sweet, amazing. So, Karen, a call to action and how my listeners can connect with you.
Just think of us when you have that little special gift and you want someone to know that they matter. They can visit us at littlemissmoffittbaker.com. I have contact page if they want to reach out to me. Certainly anybody can DM me through social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and also on LinkedIn.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your sweets with our listeners.
Thank you so much.